clue how to answer phone, but welcome into HBRV Lifestyle, the podcast. I'm the host, the Honey Badger, here to give it to you straight and transparent about the RV business, as well as some other things. And today we're talking Charlie Kirk's death. We're doing this live. So if you're watching this later and you're a Democrat or Republican and you're very political, you'll probably hate watching this and hate listening to this, but I can't keep my mouth shut anymore. I really can't. I cannot stand extremist values. I cannot stand I can't stand it when people are either way over here, like everything's awesome and everything's terrible. I hate that crap. I can't stand it in the RV industry, and I can't stand it in real life. I can't, hold on, where's that light coming from? Anyway, I can't really bear the thought of things going the wrong way. So Charlie Kirk passes away. What it's going to do to the RV industry is basically you're going to see people on both political aisles, and you're going to see both manufacturers, corporate dealerships, bigger, what I call the mid-majors, which are like the privately owned stores that have like 6, 7, 8, 9 locations. You're going to start to see them really back off of how content is done. You're going to start seeing that a lot of these folks that spew lies on the internet about the RV lifestyle, RV quality, the over-exaggerations of things, we're going to see less and less brand deals occur. Now, me personally, I am sick and I am tired of seeing all these extremes. So today, for example, now that I finally read, I guess, however long ago they finally arrested the suspect, I'm tired of hearing and seeing people profit off this man's death already. This man has not even had a funeral yet. And there's already people trying to profit off Charlie Kirk's death. They're creating t-shirts. They're comparing him. They have a t-shirt out that was released for $46. You can buy a t-shirt that has him, Martin Luther King, and John F. Kennedy next to each other. The man hasn't been dead 72 hours, and we're trying to profit off his death. And on the left-wing side of things, the far left extremists are creating massive amounts of 1 minute and 2 second, 1 minute and 3 second videos. So it sticks in the TikTok algorithm and pays them, celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. So they're monetizing. The right-wing nut jobs and the left-wing knuckleheads are all trying to profit off of Charlie Kirk's death. This guy was 31 years old and traveled campuses. And then you got Myron from Fresh and Fit podcast being a coward and trying to get people to donate to his podcast so he can go into hiding. This, guys, I just can't keep my mouth shut. This is why I keep warning people about the pendulum of information that is given on the internet. I try to stick somewhere in the middle with everything. This is why I've been warning corporate, especially if you're a corporate RV dealership YouTuber. You are at one extreme. You're at the mercy of whatever the corporation's propaganda is. You're at the mercy of what a manufacturer of anything says. And then on the far other side of things, the Liz Amazing side of things, and no, I'm not talking crap about Liz. I'm just saying, like, the only way she makes money is if she gets clicks and views, so she gets ad revenue. And the best way to do it is everybody likes a negative story. So you got these two sides, and now we have it on the political spectrum. A man died, was shot and killed on a college campus. We don't know what the motivation of the guy is yet. We know he's in custody, apparently, and we know that his dad turned him in. But what we don't know is what the motivation is yet. They have not released a motivation. We haven't even gotten to a funeral yet, and we got two sides of extremes trying to profit off this man's death. That's crazy. And yeah, I'm a Christian, but I'm not a left or a righty. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, because I believe both sides are wrong. Both political parties do not care about any American. They only care about their own damn pocketbook. And that's the way I've felt for years. And I got to give Charlie Kirk, I don't agree with everything Charlie Kirk has said. Okay? Most of the time, I disagree with what Charlie Kirk says. Not everything, but I'll say half what Charlie Kirk has ever said, I disagree with. Half I agree with, half I disagree with. But I've never, ever wished anything upon that man, because he's one of the few people in the world that was willing to go and talk to people that were on the other side of him. Goes on Gavin Newsom's podcast, goes on The Breakfast Club, goes on any podcast that will have him, that will talk to him and debate him. Whether you liked him, whether you hated him, whether you don't like him, whether you hate his political views, it doesn't matter. He didn't deserve to die. Nobody deserves to die when they're having freedom of speech to have a conversation and debate with somebody. And the RV industry is going to get affected by this, because you're going to start seeing brand deals. You're going to start seeing companies start backing off brand deals if you have certain types of content on your page. Hey, let's give some of the universities credit. Some of the universities have already fired people that are putting leftist, really far leftist, extreme propaganda celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. I'm not talking about the everyday Republican or everyday Democrat like Stephen A. Smith or Bill Mayer or people like that. I'm not talking about the regular guys. I'm not talking about the regular old school lefties. I'm talking about these extremists that are throwing hail the Kirk, or what was the other one that happened earlier today? It was ding dong, the Kirk is dead. I mean, thank God people are getting fired for comments like this. So I don't care what side of the political aisle you're on, because I'm not on either side of the political aisle. You can be on any political side of the aisle you want to be. I'm not like that. But I don't believe that that man deserved what happened to him. Period. And cause and consequences. Once this guy shot him and pulled that lever, there were 80 other levers pulled at the same time. So I'm just glad that some of these companies and some of these educational institutions, let's give them a little bit of credit. They're firing people right away for making bad comments about this in a really bad light. Guys, let's put it this way, not even The View is celebrating his death. The View, all those ladies, including Whoopi Goldberg, could barely put herself together to actually talk about it. You could tell she was about to just break down and cry. Because he wasn't a bad person. He may have some extreme views that I don't agree with, but it didn't matter who you were. He would allow you to come up and talk to him. There was no screening you to make sure that you were going to say the right thing or the right thing to make him look smart. He's not Myron from Fresh and Fit podcast. He's not Brian from the whatever podcast where everything's scripted out so that way they can make money. This was a guy that actually went out to campuses. And Myron trying to come out and say, I'm going to be the next Charlie Kirk. Go to hell, dude. You need to go away. Go away. You're just like everybody else on that side of things trying to profit from his death. And that's sad. We want, it's funny because when James Earl Jones passed away from natural causes, Hulk Hogan passed away, a lot of people that passed away, there were great tributes made to these people, whether you liked them or not. James Earl Jones was the voice of Darth Vader and a wonderful actor. Nobody was making t-shirts about Darth Vader has passed away and trying to profit off James Earl Jones's death. There were nothing but wonderful tributes. Oh, there's a ton of them. I don't think Charlie was a jerk. I just didn't agree with everything he said. I don't agree with half of what Charlie Kirk's ever said because I think Charlie Kirk is too young. Some of the things he said when he was younger, when he was like in his mid-20s to late 20s, you don't have enough life to make half the comments he's made. Half of the other comments I've agreed with. But a lot of what Charlie has said over the years, when you clip it up, I'm like, dude, you're too freaking young to know that. You're too young to even know what that's about. And especially since, if I remember right, and correct me if I'm wrong, Charlie never served in the military. So how can you speak on war veterans? He was 31, but he's been around a long time. So in his mid-20s, late 20s, he made some really stupid comments that a young person should never make until you had some life experience. If that's how you feel, Hart, that's fine. You're allowed to feel that way. But it's not right to shoot a guy in cold blood. That might be true too, Traveling to, but there's still half the things he should have never commented on, and that's why half the stuff I don't agree with. Because I'm like, dude, especially when he was 26, he made some really stupid comments at 26 years old. I'm like, dude, I don't care how much you read. You don't know what life is like yet. You're 26 years old. And at the time, he didn't have any kids. And at the time, he was just getting Turning Point USA off the ground. Yeah, there's some things he just wasn't ready to speak on yet. But there are some things he says that I agree with. But that doesn't mean we should be trying to profit off the man's death. That doesn't mean we should be celebrating his death and trying to make money off it. That's why I keep saying that Lil Wayne said, I went to pay attention, but attention paid me. Everybody's so worried about getting paid off this man's death that they're just doubling and tripling down. There is a channel right now that is copying and pasting 2-minute clips of things Charlie Kirk has said, and it's getting millions of views and paying that person probably between $10,000 and $20,000 this month just by clipping old Charlie Kirk clips. And this person posted like 100 of them in the last 48 hours. Since his death. Why are we trying to profit off this man? No, it's individuals. So now, watch this. Now for those that have these brand deals, because watch this, this is going to change. This is going to change the way things are done. These live events, if you have any kind of extreme view on anything when it comes to the RV industry, and probably the two people this is going to affect the most is Liz Amazing and Wingman Wisdom. Those two are probably, outside of me being kind of a jackass every once in a while, those two are probably going to get affected the most. And Greg Carson won't give a shit. Greg Carson will piss through the wind. He won't care. But those two, especially Liz, she's going to get spooked and not do any live events and probably hunker down and change everything around where she's in secret. You're going to see a more extreme view of the RV industry through the lens of the corporate dealership YouTuber. You're going to watch the way things are transpired. And this is going to affect the car industry. It's going to affect the boat industry. It's not just going to affect the RV industry. It's going to affect every single industry that uses social media to promote products. Because now, If you have any view or any attachment to a political party or a political person, if you follow anybody on your Instagram, there's going to be some deep dives by these bigger corporations, and they're going to start looking like, okay, so you follow this extremist, you follow that extremist, you commented this, you commented that. You're going to see a lot more of this occur, and you're going to see companies start backing off their brand deals because they're like, they don't want to Oh, Mark Sr., I'm sorry to hear that. I told you Brinkley's horrible. I agree with you, Arcadia, but when I'm talking about the RV industry, okay, and this is what this live stream is kind of, I'm contexting everything back to normal. So let's go back, let me get back to it. So the RV industry is going to really, and every industry is going to hunker down and say, no. So you follow this guy that said this about Israel, or you're followed and commented about this guy that's pro-Hamas or anti-Hamas or anti-trans or anti-gay or anti-this or pro-this or pro-that. You better be squeaky, bloody clean if you want a brand deal. I'm sorry, Mark Sr. I try to tell everybody that Brinkley's horrible, but nobody wanted to believe me. So the reality is the way content creation is going to occur is the more you follow an extreme, whether you're far right, far left politically, doesn't matter. You better be squeaky clean in the middle. And this is to you guys, and this is to the guys and gals that are part of the corporate RV dealership cog. I want you to listen to this. If you follow any extremist at all, unfollow them today. I don't care if you're an independent. I don't care if you're, an RV lifestyle brand creator, a brand ambassador. I don't care if you're a brand ambassador for Brinkley, Grand Design, Forest River, Keystone. I don't care. If you follow anybody that is considered an extremist on the right or the left, unfollow them on all your social media today. Delete any comments you made. Delete anything, because your brand deals are at risk here. Okay, telling you right now. Possibly general. So I mean, again, it depends on how you look at it with him. I'm not talking about him in general. Yeah, there you go, Art. See, me, the only people that are pissed off at me is RV manufacturers. Dealers seem to support me. Consumers seem to support me because I give you the middle. And I'm not political. I found out in my life that politicians should be changed out like diapers daily. Like everybody in Congress, we should take toilet paper. That's them. They're the toilet paper. This is our butt. We wipe them and we throw them in the toilet, flush it, and get a new piece of toilet paper. That's what all politicians should be. Should be a piece of toilet paper. It should be flushed quickly, flushed rapidly, and flushed every other day. Clean them out. That's how I feel about it. Clean them all out. Get them all back in their regular jobs, writing novels, going on a podcast tour, going on a speaking and lecturing tours. Get rid of them. Get a new set of people. People have never been in there before. Start over again. That's how I feel about it. But the reality is that's never going to happen. So I kind of just let it go. But I don't like violence. And I don't like what this lever pulls. I don't like what happens when we pull this lever and it keeps going down like this. Because nobody thinks about the consequences of what occurs. I guarantee you Charlie Kirk knew the risks. Some of us start thinking we're immortal and that we can't be touched, and then something happens to us. Look at 9/11. Okay, 9/11, we thought we were untouchable, and we found out we weren't. I understand, Mark Senior. There you go. Starch Manning. You just came to my next point. And that's what I'm saying. The 1% versus the 99. Because 1%, 0.5% of the world control all the information. There you go. There you go. Right now, I am Pacific time. So I'm like 8:23. The other thing that's going to affect the RV industry is you're going to start seeing, and this is going to be any industry, you're going to start seeing corporations hiring AI companies and people that understand AI to go through worker social media to make sure they're not saying anything extreme. You know what I mean? That's the other thing. So even if you make jokes, you want to talk about control of information and freedom of speech. Okay? Freedom of speech may be gone pretty soon, guys. As we know it. We could come on any dude or any lady can come on here, or any person, any human being with a camera and an internet connection can go on and give their unsolicited opinion about anything. Not be educated, not have an understanding of anything, and could go on and gain millions of followers by saying the most extreme shit in the world. And the problem is, here's the biggest problem that we're going to run into, is just like, and again, I'm not picking on Liz, okay? Stop thinking I'm picking on her. But Liz Amazing is the only real good example because she makes good money, okay? It's nothing to do with her content. She is really the only one on that side of the aisle of everything's shit and everything's Armageddon. She's the only lady or only person that actually makes a good living doing it, okay? We have to stop paying people that make extremist views where they don't have to go get a job. It's just like OnlyFans, right? OnlyFans has a bunch of adult content, and what? 3 or 4% of those content creators make so much money that they can do whatever the hell they want and there's no consequences. Yeah. So we have to kind of watch, and we'll watch as it goes along, right? The reality is that I've kept my mouth shut long enough. I've kept my mouth closed about things when it comes to the world, and I'm done keeping my mouth shut. And a lot of people unsubscribe, and a lot of people will be mad because I'm not going to take a side. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm an American. An American who's pissed off that we keep doing un-American things in the Republican Party and in the Democratic Party. That we allow the 0.5% of extreme leftists and the extreme right, we allow the left, the extreme left and the extreme right to dominate social media with their attention, because attention gives them money. Thank you for the subscription. We've allowed 22-year-old boys and girls who haven't even lived long enough to know what it is to have major responsibilities try to give us what political views should be. I've watched too many of these knuckleheads that are 25 years old rolling around in a Lambo with 5 security guards, but they can't even pay their tax bill. I am so sick and tired of content creators in the RV industry that want to talk crap about me, but then at the same time turn around and give over-exaggerated advice about the capability of solar panels and batteries. And then have the audacity to use a ghost account to try to give me the mathematics in the comments section. And I tell everyone, just live stream your air conditioner running for 24 hours straight on your setup, and I'll shut my mouth. Not one of them is willing to do it. Not one person is willing, out of all those battery and solar fucks, is willing to live stream their air conditioner to run 24 hours without the battery, without a generator, without shore power. Not one person is willing to do it. Want to know why? Because they know I'm right. The longer we let the 99% be controlled by the 0.5% on each extremist side, and that's what I'm going to start talking about. We're going to start to unite the 99%. You know what's really interesting is the American people and the world people, for the most part, don't care about each other's sexual orientations, our philosophies, our religion. It's only the extremists that care. Most people don't care about skin color, religion, gender. Most people just want to live their life, raise their family, go to work, go on vacation, eat some food, be entertained. Most people want to go out and enjoy nature. Go enjoy the experiences of being on a boat, fishing, camping, RVing, resort, pools. Everybody just wants to live a life. Not everybody wants to deal with extremist political views. You know, there's a woman I'm dating. Everybody's like, if anything ever came to fruition with the woman that I'm seeing, okay, or have been trying to see, I should say, everybody would be shocked. Well, nobody would be shocked because people that know me know there's only 2 cultures I date, okay, and it's for my own personal reasons, right? But I'm tired of the 1% dominating social media. I'm tired of it. You know, Joe Rogan is probably one of the most middle ground guys, and he gets more attention than any of us middle ground guys. The attention goes to all the extremists, and I don't know why. And then a lot of the guys in the middle are quitting. I don't know if you guys know, but the guy that did all the extreme camping stuff up in Alaska and different extreme weather camping, I forgot his name, but he's so cool. He quit. Quit social media. No, you'd be shocked if you saw her. Because it's not, you look at me and you look at her and you go, how the hell is she with him? He looks like an ugly duckling and she's like this beautiful swan, you know. Attaboy. I'm in Northern California. So we're gonna have probably, and I'm just sick and tired of everybody trying to. I've said this probably 9 times already, but I'm just sick and tired of people trying to profit on this man's death. Everybody's trying to sell merchandise. Oh, cool. Everybody's trying to sell merchandise. Everybody's trying to already compare him to Martin Luther King and John F. Kennedy already. The dude hasn't been dead 72 hours, and we don't know the motivation yet. We know the guy's in custody, that the suspect's in custody, but we have no idea what the real motivation is yet. It'll come out. Oh, thanks, Marie B. I'm a little weird. As most people I've ever been around me, I'm a little weird. See, everybody's seeing all these freaking t-shirts all over the place, these mugs, these hats. It's pissing me off. There's one shirt that's $49. That's crazy. She is way out of my league. She is like on a scale of 1 to 10, she's like 1,000 and I'm a 1. I mean, that's the extreme. Like, I sit there scratching my head going, what the hell is she trying to do with me? I mean, I'm a weird dude that does all this like social media stuff and videoing and editing and just weird. And she's like, I mean, nobody is ever like perfect, but she to me is just perfect, right? Perfect in every way. So it's hard to beat her. No, I know that. I just sit there and go, what is she doing with me? Kind of crazy. I mean, we really haven't made anything official or anything, but still. Everybody makes that shit online. That's so full of crap. You should always put that women that high. You should always look up at women. Always. No, it's not simpy, man. It's being a real man. Yeah. It's sad that's the extremist crap that I'm tired of. That all these YouTube channels give people bad advice, give men bad advice about women. They really do. And they give women bad advice about men. It's both ways. Like, there is so many views and values that are just so screwed up. It's not even funny. It's crazy how they give women really bad advice and they give men really bad advice, and all of a sudden we're having trouble dating in 2025. Everybody has their unsolicited opinion about how a man should treat a woman, how a woman should treat a man, and it's like, we didn't have that in the 1990s. We had more, we had to actually talk to each other and get to know each other, not what the internet or AI says. Oh, thank you, Nikki. Appreciate it. I didn't love Charlie Kirk at all. I thought I agreed with half what he said and didn't agree with the others. You never know, Crow. You never know. No, I didn't love Charlie. I'm not worried about that, Autumn. I agreed with half of what he said and I disagreed with the other half. That doesn't mean he should have been killed. I think she's pretty head over heels. I mean, what the hell is she doing with me if she wasn't? Well, you gotta understand something, you Matrix. When I'm talking about that, I'm talking about, like, I just know myself. I am very like right now I'm sitting in a car in a Pilot gas station doing this live stream instead of doing other stuff. I mean, I'm just like that. She's somewhere up here in Northern California. Hi from Saudi Arabia. Yeah, he was a good, look, he didn't deserve what happened to him. I don't care what his views were. And even though I disagreed with half of what he said, he didn't deserve it. Not at all. That's true. Oh, the way he talks about minority families, I don't agree with what he said about minority families when it comes to the fathers, because it's not a cultural problem. It's actually a problem in the inner cities amongst every single race and culture and religion. It's not solely like the number one thing I've ever disagreed with Charlie Kirk is that he wanted to say, and this was last year, he said that the main problem with the black community is black fathers leaving the household. No, that's not the number one problem, because it's not a problem with the black community. It's a problem with inner city communities, because that's something that happens with every single race in inner cities. When you go into cities like Atlanta and Los Angeles and and San Francisco. This is not something solely that is just to one race. This is something that has to do with the intercity culture, which is white, Hispanic, Asian, India, Muslim, Middle Eastern, South African, Australian, Japanese. It is not solely to one race. And that is one of the reasons why one of the things I disagree with him, right? It doesn't mean that he should be dead over that comment. That's just, again, it's something that he believed, okay? And, you know, it's an inner city, big city problem, because if you go and check this out, guys, check out your statistics on this. If you eliminate the big cities in the United States, eliminate all the big cities, you'll see the divorce rate in the United States is a lot lower than what you think. If you go to some of the more smaller towns, smaller cities in California, New York, Florida, Oklahoma, Texas, all these places that are outside of Dallas, outside Chicago, outside New York, divorce rates and fatherless rates of families is a lot less than it is in the inner cities. Okay, so, you know, again, it's just one example of something I disagree with them. What I agree with him about is that we should have open debate about things and be able to talk to each other. We should be able, if him and I having a disagreement, we should be able to talk as civilized people with each other. We shouldn't have screaming matches and you activated my trap card. I mean, that bullshit. You know, he's one of the very few guys that may have had opposite views half the time of me, but at the same time, you got to respect the fact that he'd have open debate and open conversations. So it's something that's to give you an idea, right? So, you know, it's the problems that we have in this country mainly have to do with our bigger cities. Our bigger cities have a lot of problems. Whether they're run by Republicans, whether they're run by Democrats, there's a lot of problems in the bigger cities. And the further out you get from the bigger cities, the more family's more important, the more community's more important, the more school is more important, the more education's more important, the better we mix culturally. When we get away from the bigger cities, the further out we go, the more we get along, the better we have community, and skin color matters less, sexual orientation matters less, philosophy matters less, religion matters less. The further we get out, the better we get. I've lived in Los Angeles. I've lived in Seattle. I've been in Portland. It is horrible to live in a big city like that. And then I go out to like smaller cities that have like 100,000 or less people, and it's so much nicer. People are so much more friendly. People are so much like nicer to each other, no matter what city they're in. Now, again, if I go to Charlotte, North Carolina, heart patient, just to give you an idea, if I go to Charlotte, North Carolina is going to have a lot more problems than some of the smaller cities and smaller towns. Okay. If I go to New Orleans in Louisiana, there's going to be more problems than there are in smaller communities. Okay. You know, Chicago, the suburbs of Chicago, when you get further out from Chicago and the people that commute into the city, the less problems there are as you go out. Indianapolis, Indiana, where all the RVs are made. Bigger problems happen in Indianapolis than they do when you're in Elkhart and you're Middlebury and you're, you know, other places. So it's you know, I'm not talking about the states, I'm talking about the cities, right? because I want to get this done quick. Nikki, I want to do this like in the actual car. Republican-run cities are hell too, Crow. Don't get it twisted. Some of the bigger Republican-run cities are just as bad. No big city is immune to big problems. Yes, they are. Ooh, Wesley Pipes. That was an interesting comment. No, I drove I went and saw my kids over the last couple of days. So I was driving back today and I stopped for gas and I was like, I just need to get this done. I don't know. I'd look it up. In fact, I'm going to look it up later because I remember seeing that a lot of the outer cities with less than 150,000 people actually have the divorce rates are less. Fatherless housing is less. So I remember seeing that. I'll go double check and see, and I'll get back to you guys with it. But I'm pretty sure that's correct. That's not a red versus blue issue, dude. It's a big city versus smaller community issue. It's nothing to do with politics. Yeah, but we'll see, Heart Patient. I'm pretty sure that everything's better in smaller cities. I'm pretty sure. Smaller city, smaller town. It used to be. No, sometimes it's not cultural, man. I mean, I've seen white fathers run out of homes quickly. Trust me. Wow, a lot of people commenting today. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, again, that's just one thing that Charlie Kirk, I didn't agree with. That's all. I don't read very fast, so it's taken me a while to get through all this stuff. It's interesting, Jeremy. I don't trust that, but I find it interesting. I think all my guys are no problem, bud. Thank you, Mark Sr. I think we have a great big city, small town system because the bigger cities have a lot of the jobs and harbors and stuff. I just think we need to change the culture of our big cities. It's hard to read faster, Crow. I'm not that quick. I'm old. No, I'm not a liberal or conservative. I'm neither. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I think they're both idiots. Neither. I think Republicans and Democrat politicians are idiots. Man, you guys are going too fast for me. Neither. No, not you, not the people. The people aren't stupid. The politicians are stupid. The politicians are idiots. The Republican politicians and the Democratic politicians are all idiots. They're all morons. Woo, Mark Sr. They're pretty bad. They're pretty dumb. Stupid rich. That's a good one. Well, I believe politicians should be changed out like garbage cans weekly. I'm in the car because I was driving down from Oregon when I saw my kids, and I decided I just needed to get this done. I've been wanting to do this for like 2 days, but I was trying to wait till they more information came out about the shooter. Kirk, I don't think Kirk was dumb. I just didn't agree with everything he said. I just don't like the fact that everybody's trying to profit off his death. Okay. Daily. You too. Nikki, thank you. God bless you as well. See, I don't believe in that, Random. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe karma had anything to do with it. And anybody who wants to be extreme like that it just needs to like have a reality check. Do you really want that? Do you really want that for anybody? I wouldn't want that for anybody. I wouldn't want anybody to get shot over something like that. I'm 41. Because of the way it happened, Rusko, that and there's a reason why people are trying to profit off it too. There's a lot of people trying to profit off his death. It's crazy. It's because of the way it happened. See, it's like when Rusko, this is an easy thing to explain, okay? Very easy thing to explain. When we're going to use the Joker from The Dark Knight, okay? If I told you today that a truck full of soldiers was going to get blown up, or a couple of cops were going to be shot in a gang fight, okay, nobody panics, because in reality it's normal, right? But when one little podcaster gets shot from 200 yards out, everybody goes crazy because it's something outside of the norm. College campuses are supposed to be, safe. When we hear about school shootings, nobody bats an eye because it's been normalized, and that's sad. And maybe him being shot may help not normalize that. You know what I mean? That might be something we need. But it's not, he shouldn't have been shot and killed. Never. Should never happen. Sorry guys, you're going way too fast for me. Slow down a little bit. No, that's not true either. Normal everyday Democrats are not fascists. Oh my God. Why do we have extremists back in here? How do I put that person? Time out. He wasn't antagonizing anybody. Yeah. Maybe. That's a possibility, Eric V, but he never did anything so extreme he should be shot. Guys, I can't keep up. You guys are going to have to slow down. Normal everyday Democrat is somebody who's just a Democratic voter that goes to work in his 9 to 5, her 9 to 5. They have Democratic values politically, not necessarily left-wing liberal nut jobs, but more like just the normal everyday Democrats. Bill Mayer, Stephen A. Smith. Those are examples of regular old Democrats. There's regular old Republicans too. Not every Republican is an extreme right-wing nuthead. I don't know what you're asking, Autumn. You have to ask again, but slow down. Dave Roberts, that's a stupid comment. Well, the solution's simple. The solution is we stop paying attention to extremists. No, the country needs to find themselves, not just the lefties. Joe, that's a possibility. No, they're not. Map, minor, attract birds. That's bull crap. I don't care. They're not extreme. There's extremists on every side of the political aisle. That's a good comment, TL. I've been in the RV industry for a long time. That's the reason why I was originally talking about the RV industry earlier in the live stream. Autumn, I don't know what you're asking. I can't see or ask. It keeps going by too fast. Ask again. So, Landon, it basically is going to affect the way brand deals go down. Because everybody's going to want squeaky clean people now. Like I was earlier in the live stream, I was saying like anybody that is a brand creator for the RV industry, whether they're a lifestyle one or a brand ambassador or a full-time RVer or a corporate RV dealership YouTuber or independent YouTuber, if they're a Liz Amazing, if they're a Wingman Wisdom, if they're a Josh the RV Nerd type of person, then they need to like unfollow all the extremists. I don't care if they're left-wing extremists, right-wing extremists, unfollow everybody that is considered extreme when it comes to content and stay squeaky clean. Stay away from them because you're going to lose your brand deals. Well, Autumn, get mad. I don't know what you're talking about. You keep saying, I don't know. Just ask the question. Yeah, there you go. Every single group has an extremist. There you go. There you go. I can't, my man. I can't go. Autumn, I can't go back. I am like totally like screwed up. Here, put you in timeout. I can't see. No, I silenced Autumn for right now. Autumn, just find my email somewhere and email me the question. I've got it in all my videos. Yes, mainly the social media people. The social media people are a big thing in the RV industry. There's a lot of brand ambassadors. There's a lot of independent RV lifestyle content creators. There's a lot of B-van DIYers. There's a lot of off-grid, offshoot people. The RV content community is huge. And it will affect the industry because, and this will never happen, okay? I'm going to give an extreme, never going to happen scenario, okay? But let's use probably the most famous YouTuber we got in the RV industry. We'll use Josh the RV Nerd, okay? Josh the RV Nerd decides that he's going to be a big supporter of Myron on Fresh and Fit Pinecrest. He's got all kinds of comments and donates money daily and makes all kind of extreme comments and extreme agreements and blah 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 on the side of everything. Karen from some extremist left-wing group decides to take clips or pages or screenshots, all these comments that Josh the RV Nerd makes about Mr. Myron, and it's all anti-women or anti-this or anti-that, and posts it all over Facebook. What does that do to Bish's RV? And you're going to see people stop shopping at Bish's RV. Then Bish's RV has to do some kind of apology and fire Josh and try to revamp their entire social media network and the whole 9 yards. Now that'll never happen because Josh doesn't do that. So it's an example that will never happen. Okay. But that's just one example of how it will affect it, right? It's just like when Marcus Lemonis came out and said, if you're a Republican, don't even shop at my store. What happened? All the Republicans went, fuck you, I'm not going to go to your store, then we're not going to buy. Okay. So, you know, it's a matter of the industry, and this is going to happen in every industry, but the RV industry specifically is dependent a lot on social media content creation as the shopping. The dealer, what you're watching me from is the new dealership. This is the new shopping device. Nobody really walks into the dealership to go shopping like they used to. It's completely different. Now they do the majority of their shopping online, and they start with a lot of social media content, right? So you have to have a lot of these big corporations, like General RV uses Matt's RV and Towable Reviews. MYLES RV is now Blue Compass. Josh does Bish's. And there's like 37 others. I can't remember all of them, but there's like 37 other ones that deal with Campers Inn or Funtown RV has the RV Hunter. So everybody's got this face of the franchise or face of the company on social media. So those people have to be now even more squeaky clean than they were. You're not even paying attention, Luke. If Luke Mason Media was here for the entire live stream, they would actually understand how I connected it all. Susie, I don't even think it would have been like that. I think everybody's so in shock of what happened. I don't think it had anything to do with it. That's a pretty bad comparison. Yeah, I mean, it's like we have to understand that when something extreme happens and we start seeing extremist political content creators start celebrating somebody's death, and we start seeing these right-wing podcasters and right-wing content creators start making merchandise to profit off a man's death, it starts to throw red flags at companies that are looking at this like, wow, this is a bad look. Okay? It's a bad look. And so now content creators of every industry that are associated with a company or an industry is going to be looked at differently by far. If you guys go look at my social media, go look at my Instagram. If you ever get a chance, go look at my Instagram. How many people do I follow on Instagram? 3 people. That's it. 2 of them I work with. That's it. You don't ever see me comment on anyone's videos. If you go look at my TikTok, my YouTube's channels, my Instagram, my Facebook, I don't follow nobody. Nobody. Because I know this stuff can be really crazy. Oh, I'm not getting gaslight or sick nasty, not at all. I just think it's a bad comparison because I think that's very different. I don't think it's extreme for her to say that and to even say it out loud. That's not extreme to say that out loud and say it, but I think it's just two extreme things. I think it's just two very different things. Like if that happened, God bless him. I hope it never happens because I love him to death. He's a great guy. But if that happened to Stephen A. Smith, there wouldn't be rioting in the streets. If that happened to Shannon Sharp, it wouldn't have been rioting in the streets. I think the rioting in the streets thing has nothing to do with somebody's skin color. I think it has to do with a lot of situations. Like, especially if it's situational. I think it's just something very different. So that's why I say I'm not going to gaslight her, but I just think it's what happened to Charlie Kirk was so, unexpected and so out there that I just think it's not a good comparison. Well, thank you, Frank Foley. Yeah, well, that's okay. The algorithm will I set the algorithm pretty good. I have some moderators that do my live streams that they'll let a lot of the content slide because I tell them to. But some of the stuff, if it's too bad, I don't do it. Probably not. I don't know. I don't think it has anything to do with it. I really don't. Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm going to go home and go to bed. Susie, I don't blame you. I really don't. I'm sad because he's 31 years old and a father. I may have disagreed with him. I may have a lot of disagreements with the red pill community. I don't like the red pill community. I think the red pill community is teaching men to be idiots. I think the blue pill community is teaching women to be idiots. And now we're all idiots together instead of back when we were in the 90s and early 2000s when we were learning to communicate by using our words and talking to people. Now we have 24 hours, 7 days a week access to people that are extremists. And not calling Charlie an extremist. I'm just saying, like, that's our biggest problem is there's too much access. You know, if we want to listen to a radio program, we had to listen to it at a certain specific time of the day. And radio programs were really limited on what you could say. You couldn't just say unsolicited crap on the radio back in the 90s and early 2000s. You had to actually be careful of what you said, no matter what your political views were. This social media thing has caused more extremism in the country compared to where it was 20 years ago. If we got back to people talking to each other and stopped the social media nonsense, I mean, Facebook, if you go talk to Mark Zuckerberg, back when he created the Facebook, before it became just Facebook, it was meant to be something to compete with MySpace and AOL Instant Messenger and email. It was a community builder, and then it ended up what it is today, which is crazy. So the red pill and the blue pill communities have ruined our ability to communicate. Now look what happened. Start, talk, stop, hate, end story. There you go, Mark Sr. Love it. It was the shit back in the day, wasn't it? Evil always happens. But evil was managed. It's no longer managed. It now has a voice anywhere and anywhere it wants to be. Oh my God. Here we go. Got some idiot. Go away, Lost in Transition. What a dick. No, the hate started long before Trump. The hate started long. The hate, the real hate that boiled from social media didn't really get going. Probably got going around 2012, right after the recession started. We came out of the recession. No, Tea Party has nothing to do with it. As I said before, I if you want, watch earlier, Elinus, watch earlier in the podcast, because I kind of explained how it affects the RV industry, and it mostly affects the way content creation and shopping is going to be done. Everybody blames Trump. People used to blame Obama, and Obama had nothing to do with it. The Tea Party has nothing to do with it. The 60s have nothing to do with it. It's access to social media has everything to do with it. It's not regulated. Someone can go on TikTok and spend 2 minutes talking about something that doesn't make any sense, and they can get 1 million or 2 million people to watch and follow them. God, that's so, why is everybody got, man, they said the same thing about Barack Obama, and Obama wasn't like that, and Trump's not like that. No president has been like that. Biden may have been a weirdo, but Biden was not trying to be authoritarian. Ronald Reagan was not. Clinton was not. God, everybody's just so extreme. Social media has made people so extreme with their comments. It's crazy. Social media is the access point. It's the access, Sam. It's not social media itself. It's the access. It's the access. Obama never showed hate. But everybody made Obama to be a warlord because he was deporting so many people. He had, I forgot what they called him. They used to call him all kinds of weird names all the time because he was deporting people, illegal immigrants. It's like he's just doing his job. I mean, he got a lot of hate from even his own party. I mean, it's ridiculous. But social media is fine. The social media is fine. It's actually a good thing for the most part. But the extremists have so much access because they know how to hack the algorithms, and there's people behind them that have money that pay to promote their hate speech, both on the left and the right. Yeah, they found him on Drury Lane without his buttons. Yeah, it's like, it used to be hidden in blogs, hidden in the dark net, hidden amongst a small community of people. Now it's like exposed to the world. Look at OnlyFans, guys. Look how much OnlyFans has destroyed the way the world looks at things. And it's not because the people are content creators. They could create content on the hub, if you know what I'm talking about, or sell, downloads for their DVDs or their content and stuff like that. That's been around for ages. But OnlyFans gave more people the access. It has nothing to do with the content, it's the access. Yeah, it's crazy how we can sit here and literally a 15-year-old kid can come online and say that he believes that X, Y, and Z should be the dictator of the world and give his 15 reasons why that make absolutely no sense to us adults, but he'll get 5 or 10 million views from kids around his age or young adults or college kids his age, and everybody seems to agree with him because it all makes sense to them because they haven't had any life experience, and now it just builds and builds and builds and builds and builds into this extremism. And it wasn't the kid making the video, it was the access of people being able to watch it. So that's the problem. The problem isn't, because we were fine with MySpace, we were fine with the Facebook, we were fine with Vine, we were fine with YouTube back in the day. YouTube's been around a long time. It's the access of all this stuff. That's the problem. Yeah. Well, the access comes from the algorithms. So the access is from the people that own the companies. Okay, here's a great example, guys. I'm not going to name names because if I name names, the algorithm won't let me keep this podcast going. But there are 2 CEOs in the AI community that are AI CEOs that have been caught on camera, caught on recording, stating some extreme views of that. Like one of them compared himself to Thanos, that he hopes that AI allows him to snap his fingers and get rid of half the world. That person has a button that helps an AI program that helps social media platforms with their algorithms. Okay. So that CEO is no longer pro-humanity. He or she is now for extremism. So if you go back in the day, if you go back to like 2007, 8, 9, 10, and you go back to the content was created on YouTube, content that was created on not TikTok, Vine. You look at the content that was created for Facebook and the early days of Twitter and early days of Instagram and early days of like Quora and Reddit and places like that. It was all fun. It was all about cat videos and pets and Mr. Beast counting to 1,000 and, you know, games and pranks and things of that nature, right? Now, these extremists have figured out how to manipulate the social media algorithms, or they pay to promote the videos, or have some kind of extremist billionaire behind them promoting their videos. And that's the access. Yeah, I can't. It wasn't Elon. It wasn't Elon Musk. It was somebody else. Elon Musk is not that extreme. Peter Thiel really isn't that extreme. Peter Thiel was okay. He's just kind of crazy. Guys, I just say that it's a very popular AI. The guy created one of the most popular AI apps used today. And I believe he's in the 5th version of it. He was caught on camera and caught in recording, basically wanting to wipe out half the world. And that he should be able to choose who the master race is. So we have to be like very careful about the access. That's a good one. I'm gonna go to bed. No, I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna say no. You guys, there. It's in the 5th version of the most he created the most popular AI app used today, and he's on his 5th version of it, and that's the guy who said that. Josh is a smart person. Wow, From On High is a smart person too. Very smart guys. Wow, Emmy Bellows is a smart person too. Very smart. Great guesses, but there's 3 people that were smart so far. You too. I will see you guys again. I'm gonna get out of here.